Hi guys, this is Michael from the Board Games Chronicle. I have a pleasure of continuing my series of Task Force materials. Task Force is a game from VUCA Simulations about carrier battles in the Pacific Ocean. A really beautiful game, not girl, sorry, and really good entry point to this theater. I would say this is one of the better games to start your journey. Yeah, with Pacific games, really the rules are not overly complex, and if you add to this really good training scenarios, how it teaches you, it's really cool. We already played the first scenario, the Pearl Harbor attack, and now we are moving to the second scenario, where we'll be learning some additional rules. In the first scenario, it taught us how to attack. Now we are moving to the actual fleet and engagements of the fleet and how to find them. In this particular scenario, let me maybe bring you some historical background. The Japanese attacked the Malaya and started the invasion. The British decided to send Force Z, if I'm not mistaken, in order to intercept the landing craft. They managed to scare the Japanese, yes, of course, but once they secured the landing ships, they started to bring the airplanes, the bombers, to locate and attack the Force Z. Force Z was consisting of, as you can see, Prince of Wales and Repulse, and it has 3 destroyers. I told you in the first game that destroyers are the only ships who has like 2 of ships. So you have 1, 2, 3 destroyers with them. The result was sinking of those 2 battleships, which was enormous hit, both militarily and politically, to the Allied effort in the Pacific. Really, it's also doomed to some extent the Malayan campaign, although there were also other errors and issues during this campaign. In our scenario, what we'll be doing, we'll be playing the full turns, almost full turns, as it is in the normal game. We'll be doing the naval movement, only the Royal Navy. Those ships will be trying to escape. Then we'll be doing the aircraft operations, actually attacks of Japanese on those ships, but only if we detect them. The detection is done during the reconnaissance phase, and this is something new which we'll learn. And then we have administrative phase. And in this phase, we'll be repairing minor damage, also moving the turn token forward. As you can see, here's the turn track. We'll be playing, I believe, around 4 turns. And if we do not manage to catch them and locate them before this, we will be losing the game. As you can see, the color shows who has initiative in each of those turns. So in this first is Japanese, then allies, Japanese allies. Not necessarily needed in this scenario, but in the next third one, it's definitely something which we would like to be using. What's the victory condition? Simple. Try to achieve the historical result, sink Prince of Wales and Repulse. If you would like to overachieve the historical result, try to get one of the destroyers too. Now, the most tricky thing would be the reconnaissance phase. And this phase uses 54 cheats of reconnaissance. Each of them has search on the front. Not sure if it's zoomed. It's zoomed, okay. And it has some indications at the back. Let me just try to get them. Okay, and one more is here. So, in the 2-player game, how you look for the task force fleet carriers is you are using your recon planes either from the carriers or from the land bases and there are rules which tells you how many hexes you can check. In this game, we will be able to check 2 hexes per turn, and you draw a cheat. In 2-player game, the cheat is being drawn by the owning player. He doesn't show the searching player was here, but based on whether it's detected, contact, misdirect, and based on whether this is task force or dummy, he tells the opponent some information about it. Let me show you what we have here. We have here 1 task force and 3 dummies. Let me shuffle it. Let me put it back. Okay. I like this mechanism because this mechanism doesn't use the die roll simply to check, okay, what's there. It's using a deduction. So you are getting some information about this. In this simplified scenario, it's training scenario, we would have following rules. You search 2 hexes per turn in this scenario. It is assumed that there are some land bases over there and can help us with locating this. To check whether recon has been successful, we flip the 2 cheats onto the reverse side. So these are cheats. This is the front to the reverse side. Yeah. So we will be turning them. In 2-player game, it will be the role of your opponent to do this. They will report to you the results of the Reconnaissance without showing you the cheats back. We don't have the opponent here. This is 1-player game, so we will be doing exactly this. If the recon cheat says detected, this detected. If the recon cheat says detected, flip the fleet marker. Then we can flip it. If it's the task force 11, then you can attack the fleet next turn. This is the best result you can get. We try to search for one of those hexes. We draw the detected, and it's actually task force there. If the cheat says misdirected, so this one, flip the fleet marker. We can also flip it. If it's task force 11, then you can attack the fleet next turn. So this is also positive. But if it's a dummy marker, then it's a no contact. So we don't have any contact. And you are forced to search the same marker again the next turn. That means simply that we'll be losing one of our searches in the next turn for this place again. Okay, happens. If it's question mark is contact loss. Then the fleet marker stays face up. It is up to you whether to search the same marker next turn, in contrast to when the misdirect is drawn. So then we don't even flip it. Think, guys, if you got lost, don't worry. We'll start to play, and I will show you how to do it. But all in all, this is one of the most cool mechanics in this game. If you learn it, you will be really trying to outsmart your opponent, do some tricks, some bluffing for sure also. Really like it. Really like how this is done. Okay, so we go with a turn. First of all, we have a move, and as per the scenario, all those fleets just try to escape this direction. When we have aircraft operations phase, we cannot do any operations because we haven't found those task forces yet. So what we'll be doing? We will be going immediately to Reconnaissance phase, where we'll be searching for our opponents. Let me try to search for this. Okay, I draw detected. If I draw detected, I can flip it. Let me flip it. It's dummy. Not surprising. This is dummy, and we now know it that this is dummy. Yep. Now we search, let's say, for this one. We draw misdirected, and for the misdirected, we also flip. This is dummy, and that means that the next turn we also need to search this hex. if it says misdirected, flip the fleet marker. If it's dummy marker, then it's a no contact, and you are forced to search the same marker again next turn. Now we move to administrative phase. We move to the turn 2. They sail south. I will leave those. We need to leave misdirected to remember. This doesn't go back to the cap, of course. So what we do now, we need to search for this again. We are forced to do this. We have contact loss. And what happens if it's contact loss? The fleet marker stays face up. Okay, nothing happens here. Actually, we would not need to search for that anymore. And now we can search for one of those. So let me try this one. Let it be the Task Force 11. Okay, detected. Let's see. Dummy. Ah, gosh. And now, this is also important part of the game. I know where the task force is. Yes, pretty clearly. It's on the fourth. Still, I haven't found it yet, so I cannot attack. Okay, we move to the turn 3. Now we need to find it. Otherwise, we will not be able to attack it. Why? It's because of the turn sequence. You see, the air attack is before reconnaissance phase. We are in the turn 3, so we are not able to attack in turn 3. We need to go to reconnaissance, and once we do the reconnaissance, only then will we be able to spot them and next turn attack. So guys, we are searching now this hex, which is pretty obvious. Of course, they should sail south. Doesn't make any difference. Let's check what we have. Detected, and I believe this is Task Force 11. By the way, the ratio of detected to misdirected is like 5 to 2, so mostly you are getting the detected, but sometimes it's not so easy. In the real game, when you get the detected, misdirected, and contact, and depending whether you have dummy, task force, or carrier force, you would be telling your opponent some information. Some of this will be misleading, some of this will be untrue, some of this will be half true, and based on a couple of searches, your opponent will be able to actually tell you what's really there. In this, of course, simplified training scenario, we had predefined actions when you were drawing this. Administrative phase, and we go to the last turn, a turn, and now they move south, fine, but we spotted them. We can attack them. Let me just take it. We can attack the ships. So all those planes will be attacking now here. And one thing about it. The anti-air phase of the attack will be slightly updated here. Let me remind you the air to surface sequence. First, we need to designate the attack. So who is attacking whom? Will be attacking with all those planes, probably those 2 ships. Then we have anti-air, and the third thing is that we have the actual attack. Now, the anti-air is modified in that way that the fleets are in formation. When we were attacking the Pearl Harbor, simply each ship was fighting with its anti-air, let's say equal to this, anti-air 4. But if they are in formation, their anti-air is sum of their anti-air and adjacent ships. So Prince of Wales anti-air is 8, 4 plus 3 plus 1. The Repulse anti-air is 0 plus 3 plus 4, 7. So guys, this would not be piece of cake to get to those ships. Because if you look at the anti-air combat chart, 7, 8, it's either a very bad modifier to your attack roll, or even you will be losing some of your attack planes. Now, historically, and what we need to achieve is attack those 2 and sink them. not so easy to sink. This is 9, this is 7, these are pretty formidable. But if we manage to sink one more destroyer, we would achieve better than historically result. Now the question is, how shall we do it? For sure, I want one of those Nels attacking here, each of them, because if we get any hits from the anti-air combat, I prefer those 2 strength planes to lose there and be flipped than those 6. A reminder for those who have not been watching my first video, T is torpedo bomber, B is a vertical regular bomber. This is the strength 6 of attack, this is strength of attack for bomber 2. Torpedo bombers were much more accurate. They were coming like this and were hitting pretty accurately the ships. That is why 6. 2, because the bombers were attacking vertical, it was much less accurate. Doesn't mean that the torpedo bomber had 3 times amount of explosives. No, that simply represents how accurate it was. So okay, 2s. Just thinking if we should not, still risk attacking some of those smaller ships. But first of all, we need to have a pretty decent attack on those ships here, because we'll be flipped. The maximum we can achieve is 14 plus, so more than 14 doesn't make sense. In order to achieve 14 plus, we need to have something like that. That means we have here 6, 6, and 16, 16, so we can still suck up the losses. And we can do it that way here. I believe this is a good attack strategy. One thing which I don't remember now, and we'll have to check, is whether the attack is simultaneous. I believe so. So if we sink this ship will still benefit from the previous modifiers. Okay, guys, I was just thinking about how we distributed this, and this is also kind of a strategy and tactics, which you need to learn about this game. We can have couple of waves which will be attacking Prince of Wales and Repulse. We of course can maximize now the damage per attack here in this case, which is fine because having 16 we for sure will be attacking on the last column. But it might be more wise to attack 2 times on the smaller column and make sure that we will sink it. Now when I'm looking deeper into this scenario, I see the problems, because if we attack Prince of Wales with this 16 attack, it has 8 anti-air. 8 anti-air is here, which means that we will lose some step and we'll have modifier air even +4. Let's say we rolled 1, we have modifier +4. Then our attack 14 plus on +4 will be going from 5 deeper. 14 will not allow us to sink it. So I see now how well designed it is, and that we need to have 2 waves of attacks for each of those ships. I would believe that way and that way in order to have any possibility of success. So I will skip the destroyers. We'll attack first here, then again, here, and again. That's something which probably has much more sense and chances of success than when doing this individually. We can of course even think about, okay, that should be it. I believe this is the right thing to do. Let's see the results, otherwise we will never learn what happened. Let me put it here so you can see my rolls. First attack on Repulse. Here we have anti-air of 7 for 3-0. 7-8, so this is it. Where is my roller? Okay. 3 on 7 is plus 3 to the roll. That's what I was afraid of, exactly. So we have 14 plus, but we have plus 3 to the roll. My goodness, 9. 9, this is 8. 8 is not bad, because what we do, first of all, we have a full durability hit, so 7. That means a minor damage, but then we also add +1, it goes to the significant damage. If you'd like to learn how the damage is calculated, assigned to the ships, please have a look at my first video. This is not so straightforward. You have 5 levels: undamaged, minor damage, significant damage, critical damage, sunk, and it goes through with durability points. Okay, so this was the first wave. Now those guys, we roll for the anti-air first of all. 3, so it's, I believe, exactly the same, +3. But now we have a smaller number. We have 8, 9. Now we managed to get him. 5, maybe 5. 9 hits. So this is 8. We have 8 on the planes. Here you have it. We rolled 2 plus 3, 5. So this is here, 9. And 9 will be enough to sink it because we have full durability. So we go to the critical damage. +1, we sink it. At least Repulse is sunk. This was the easier part of the battle, but hopefully we'll not roll on the attack 6 anymore. Now the other one, Prince of Wales. I assume the attacks are simultaneous, so this is still with 3 anti-air. By the way, yeah, it has 3 here and 3 here. This is how I mark the significant damage: 1 cube and sunk 2 cubes. It's easier for me to look at the ships that way. This is my way of making things easier. Okay, now Prince of Wales. It has 8 anti-air, so exactly the same. And those ships, if those planes are attacking, 4. 4, I believe, is +2 to the roll, but 1 hit. So we flip those guys. So we have +2 to the roll, and we're rolling on 12, 13, 6, 6, 1, 12, 13. Oh gosh, this is 8. And +2, we had +2, yes, so this is 8 here. 8 here is 8. We have not dented it a bit. That was unlucky roll, yeah. This is unlucky. Second wave, anti-air is 8. This is 5. So 1 is flipped. So we roll on 7, 8. +1 only to the roll. Oh, 2. 7, 8, 2, 12. This is not bad because it's 9 +1. This is significantly damaged. By the way, I'm really curious. I would need to check this in the rules, whether we should still take into account the Repulse anti-aircraft strength, because yeah, as you see, we attack in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. It might be that during the Prince of Wales battles we should not have Repulse at all, and I believe we should take him down, and as per the rules it was simply concentrating the task force. Now, when I think about it, this is exactly what we should do, and I made the fix much difficult for me because definitely it would be easier to defend with 4 versus 4 anti-aircraft than 8. Nevertheless, sorry for this. Now I see. I made a mistake, which does not favor me. When we sank this, we should simply remove Repulse and of course have better chances of attacks here. Still, I hope that you get the mechanics of how do we search for the ships, for the task forces, for the carrier forces. Once we search them, how we attack them. Due to my small mistake, we haven't achieved the victory in this game, of course, but that was not the purpose of this. The purpose was to show you the game mechanics and really encourage you to play this game. It's really cool, really interesting, beautiful, with pretty straightforward rules and good introductory title. Thank you for this video. If you like this, please give thumbs up. If you like to see more videos like this, do not hesitate to subscribe. Also use the comment section for any of your opinions, questions, or maybe remarks. Once again, thanks for watching.